Oh, Peony go back to Deepdale. You expect us to lose, but surprisingly we don't. We have managed to avoid the abysmal record of 6 straight home defeats. However, you could argue that we didn't exactly deserve anything from this game either, but who am I to complain? Because a point is a point, and I'd much rather take a point than lose a point, if you know what I'm saying. So, Preston North End versus Luton breakdown. The first half had us performing at an okay standard, but it was a miracle Luton wasn't 2-0 up after some very, very good chances that they bottled. Improvement made, but still a long way to go by the looks of things. The second half has the ref show his true colours as Whiteman gets a red on his 100th appearance for a 50-50, gifted Luton many more fouls but couldn't deny his eyes for handball and awarded us a penalty which Parrott puts away to tie it all up, which was a miracle, let's be honest. As soon as I saw Parrott stepping up to the spot, I could not watch, but I'm ecstatic for the lad, he deserves it. Right, so in terms of the stats, we had less possession than Luton, even though at the beginning we seemed a bit more confident in possession. However, we give the ball away a bit too much. As you can see with the passing accuracy, again, it's very, very low. Much like the Burnley game, which is a foundation you must be getting right at this level. It's just, you need to get this right. The possession speaks for itself. Passes, again, it's one of those weird games where not much is done. There was a lot more carrying the ball this time, which is good. But can't really do much else about what happened, really. They had 18 shots with 3 on target, which is an awful ratio of shots on target. However, 18 shots is still more than what we had at 7. And 2 on target. I believe we didn't have a single shot in the first half. So, as far as I'm concerned, the attacking football brand needs to get better. And we've been saying this for ages now, but it does need to get better. Luton did have a lot of handballs. I don't think I've ever seen a game with that many handballs. And surprisingly, the ref caught almost all of them. So, you know, hats off to the ref for catching all those handballs. But at the same time, yeah, I don't know. He made some very poor mistakes. And sorry, Mike, some very poor choices in the second half. So, can't applaud him fully. Anyways, player ratings. Let's take a look, shall we? So, Woodman a 6. A couple of important saves at the end to see the point over the line. Distribution let him down at times, which it always does. And this is something that I'm going to bring up in a series of videos I'm going to make towards the end of the season or after the end of the season during the summer period. I want to dissect every single player and their performances over the season and give them a sort of conclusion based on their season. For example, the first one that comes to my head is Liam Lindsay. His title is essentially reformed. I'm going to basically name them one word: Lindsay, reformed; Woodman, unproven, etc. That's the main idea of it, really. But I think it could be interesting, and hopefully there's enough interest in that because I believe it could be a good series. Story of 5, blew hot and cold, but put his body on the line at the end to defend his box. I think I'd probably give Story a 6. I mean, fair enough, he was all over the place a little bit in places, but he weren't terrible. He did his job well. Cunningham 6, good to see him back. Operated in the middle of Peony's back 3 and then in a central pair following the red card. Didn't do a great deal wrong over the course of the game, got stuck in. One dodgy pass in the second half which allowed Luton to break. And it's Cunningham, you expect those dodgy passes, but yeah, no, a bit of improvement since his last outing. Hughes a 6, tried to spot Fernandez where possible and get battling away back there. One error in the first half, saw that lad run through. I'm terrible with names. With Hughes, for the most part, in most games he doesn't go past the halfway line, and it's really frustrating because you don't actually get to see what his job is. He sort of sits there and lumps it up, which is not what we're trying to do. We're trying to get out of that habit. So to see him doing that is a bit of a shame, really, but I didn't really notice it too much in this game. He actually came forward quite a bit more, so good to see. Potts a 6, good to see Potts back at right wing back as well. Couple of shaky bumps in the second half, but steady enough on the whole. Whiteman a 4, couple of important interceptions and blocks, but sent off for a high challenge in the second half when there was plenty of time to play. I've not watched it back, but at the time it looked like a 50-50, but if I've watched it back before this comes out, I will re-inform the decision that I say. McCann a 7, got man of the match, kept running hard and did well off the ball with blocks, tackles, interceptions. Always wanted the ball, even if his touch and passing wasn't always on the money. Fernandez a 7, contender for man of the match. On the front foot from start and brought more dynamism to the performance, provided more of a threat, made a key block to keep out Clark in the first half, which was a very good block, played a different role after the red card, which was good to see, and I think he's shown a bit more after that red card. It gave him more of an important role and he was able to come forward a lot more, so hopefully Ryan can see that and stop playing him like that. Brown a 6, neat and tidy enough on the ball, put himself in the middle of the park throughout, went back to right back in the second half, picked out Parrott in the first half with a clever lofted pass. Parrott a 7, stepped up and delivered from the spot with an emphatic penalty. Isolated up there for large parts, but had a couple of moments over the piece. I think Parrott had that one very frustrating moment when he was on the right side, towards like the right back of the field, and he just makes a very, very awful pass and it goes out. And it's at that moment everyone's sort of like sighing and going, So that penalty is a really good thing for his confidence, because obviously to convert a penalty with pressure like that, it's not easy. But he looked confident. He had the confidence. He was the only one that stepped up to take it. So yeah, good on Parrott really, and I hope it does give him that boost because he really needs it. And Cannon of 5. Grafted away up there, but a difficult night. Struggled to look after the ball, but admittedly had lack of support, especially in the first half. Of course, sent a shot narrowly wide after Peony's equaliser, and that was a very, very scary moment as well. You know, he's up there on his own, manages to get the ball. He's got that pace as well. Like what I was analysing him all game, how fast he can get from point A to point B. He's incredibly fast. But that shot going wide is a massive shame. Woodburn 5 came on midway through the second, added freshness, didn't see much of the ball, never does. Liam Delap introduced right at the death with Cannon out on his feet, so I couldn't exactly do too much. Right, the boss's reaction. This is causing some controversy already, because I've seen a little bit about what he said, and people are saying, you know, like, why is he smiling? We played like shit, and yeah, we did play like shit. But the point is, we've got a point. We've collected a point at home. We haven't lost. I know it's a performance game. We need the performance to be consistent, but at the same time, it's also a results game. If you don't get the results, you don't get the support. It's as simple as that. Football fans are very emotional people. If things don't go one way, they'll say one thing, and if things don't go the other way, they'll say the other thing. You know, like I said, 11 match days ago when we were 6th in the league, everyone's not bothered about the performance. No, I didn't actually see many, you know, people complaining about the performances as a whole until we started to slide down the table after Blackpool. That's when the performances was called out, but we've been playing like shit all season. But people were raving because of the results, and myself included, I have to admit, I was raving because of the results. So if we can get a few more results back under the belt, then hopefully things won't be as toxic. But I will mention that it wasn't actually that toxic on Deepdale, which was very good. Yeah, because I'm getting a bit tired of hearing all the toxicity and negativity around. I get it's deserved, but come on, we've got to get behind the lads. Ryan Lowe here now. It feels a bit more like it when you go down to 10 men. One thing I've got is belief that we can score goals, win games, keep clean sheets. I've got ultimate faith in them. It's been a bit frustrating. We are not on cloud 9. We've got 1 point, not 3, and we've got to go again. The spirit was different class. I'll agree with that. I want the lads to be committed, and I said, oh, that's Whiteman. I want the lads to be committed, and I said at half time to be more on the front foot and get after them. I'm not going to stop Ben from tackling like that. Is he half an inch too late or half a second? It is what it is. The lads railed around and we should have won it, but they could also have won it. You've just got to get together and pull together when things like that happen. Ben has been told it was a red, so it is what it is. Parrott. I thought it was fantastic. Nearly took him off before the penalty. Oh my god. He has been champing at the bit all week and he's rifled it down the middle. I'm really pleased for him and hopefully he can kick on now. That's the hope. To get a penalty like that and to score it like that is good stuff. And there's also a post-match huddle as well, which is something you very rarely see, especially in terms of being in the middle of the pitch. But I thought it was a nice little touch. Maybe he was just telling him you've saved my job for a week or something. I don't know, but we'll find out now, because I think this is Lowe explaining it. But I thought it was weird how he does the huddle, he does the huddle, but then he just sprints down the tunnel. You're not gonna stay and applaud, no? Okay. Right, Lowe was asked about the post-match and said, I just want people to see that we are together because that's what we are. There are no differences, the lads are a fantastic group who work hard every day. We have a joke with the boys, but we're also serious in everything that we do. I want in my place of work for people to come in with a smile on their face, even though deep down you're hurting. That is certainly what they do, so that was right to say. Right, well done, there's that point, and hopefully the hoodoo off our back at home. I wouldn't be saying that publicly because now people are going to slam you for that. However, I don't think getting a draw at home against Luton with that performance is going to get the hoodoo off your back. It's about having the better performance. Of course, like I said before, the results will bring forth positivity for the casual fans, but for the ones that are watching and analysing how we're actually playing, it's going to continue. Para, I think that's something about that. It's showing that we are together, we are a team, we want to do well. We know that it's not been good enough, which we've been saying, and we want to turn it around. Tonight is a step in the right direction, and it shows us that we are together and we want to do well here. So we need the fans behind us. And again, that's a point I've been trying to say for weeks now all over Twitter, but I get slack for it, and understandably so. It's not good enough, but at the same time, the performance does warrant the reaction. That, it's as simple as that. But also results warrant reactions as well. So we'll find out in the coming weeks how it's going to go. Anyways, points to make. Better team performance than what we've been seeing recently. Far less toxicity. Very happy with a Troy. Still sloppy in areas, and we're lucky not to be losing 3-1. And in terms of our pros and cons, Parrott with a confidence boost, better moving up the pitch, powered through a rough game with 10 men, but the con is that luck probably pulled us through there. There was more to be decided in the final third of the pitch, which is the case all season. And Whiteman is now out for a couple of games, which is a big loss because obviously Whiteman's one of our best players. He's a leader. He's one of those characters. Same with Ched, one of our best players and a leader that we don't have now for the coming games. Our next 3 fixtures, correct me if I'm wrong, are Hull away, Wigan at home, and Coventry at home. Hull away is, I don't want to jinx it, but it's going to be probably the easiest, if not the second easiest game of the bunch. Wigan at home should be the easiest game. However, we're playing at home, so there's no guarantee. And then Coventry at home, we're coming up against a pretty good side. So that'll be the one to watch, definitely. But in terms of where we stand now on the table, I forgot to do that last time as well. Luton sit 4th after this game, and we sit 14th with a goal difference of -9, which at this point in the season is pretty unacceptable. But we're lucky to be in 14th. It's just the quality of the table this season is that shit. We can get away with it, but any other season we'd be right down at the bottom, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm just looking at Hull. They're above us. We're level with Hull in every department apart from matches played, by the looks of things. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting matchup against Hull. We're 2 even sides pretty much at the minute. But in terms of just the general P&E after this game, it's looking up. It seems more positive, but I'm not going to be too positive about it because there is a lot that needs to be fixed. It's still pretty poor. And of course, I want good performances. We all want good performances, and we want the negativity to end. We want to be able to get back on a winning streak. So hopefully things can turn themselves around, because it's not our job to do that. It's Ryan Law's and the squads, but we can help play our part as well, and we should be doing. But anyways, that's been it for me today. Hopefully you found this informative. If not, then I've done my job wrong. However, I'll see you all for the Hull game.